Alright. We should be back. Yeah. Something's been causing me to, my desktop to hang today, and I'm trying to find out what it is, but I only just started happening. It's I updated my computer just last night, so rip. That's probably what caused it. It's annoying. Nothing I can do about it. Bleh. And, yeah, I lost a little bit of progress, so now I gotta go and put all that go and put all of them back, because yeah, I basically lost about. I'm not it. I'm not. Okay, give me it. Thank you. All right, I'll move them down here. Then we'll slowly put them in and figure out what I'm missing. And this is why backups are useful. Alright. But I've got the task manager up, so I should see what happens next. So put that down there. We'll also grab this list. It's just gonna take a bit because I gotta repair all that's being broken. Even if it's not as high quality, it can still work because these are only roughs. I can always go back over. Delete, paste, resize. Next one. At least I was able to save most of the work. Delete, paste, resize. Delete, paste. And yeah, that's all going good. That's all fine. All fine and dandy. Okay. So we still lost a little bit, but we didn't lose as much as we would have. Okay. Ooh. Okay, okay, okay. Little frustrating, but what can you do? So I was up to the wood cover. Oh, I didn't lose anything. Okay. I'll take that. Okay. So, what is it? You'll have to forgive me, I'm a little yawny because I lost my flow. I ruined my groove. Okay. We have tablet. Yeah, I have no idea what clothes to give the woodcarver. You know what? Let's just give him a pair of pants. That sounds as good as anything. Rancher, give him some rope around him. And just a very t-shirt. A belt with some pockets. Some big shoes. Some big boots. Because of the mud. Okay. I didn't have 10 after all. Okay. Unless I'm missing someone, but, oh well. So... Alright. I'm gonna call this one, self-isolation. They just got a mask that doesn't even work because, like, they can just talk around it, so... But, yeah, they're gonna self-isolate, you know? I'll give them a little, like, vest. And, yeah. Oh, oh, that broke. Yeah, I forgot. You guys can't see that, can ya? Well, let me fix that up. Actually, I better not mess with it. Computer's a bit unstable at the moment, but, so I'll just make that there. There you go. Move this down. So now we've got the children. I'm gonna give this one something super simple. This one wears a t-shirt. Oh, really breaking the boundaries of character design here. And with that, we are officially over halfway. I wonder why that's on two different lines there. Okay. Now we move them down to the fluffy line. Right. Oh. Still working? Still working? Okay, I was just selecting. I got worried for a moment there. I mean, it ain't perfect, but I kind of just have to do what I can, you know. Oh, I've got the yawns today. Okay. To be fair, I did get food poisoning during the night, so yeah, that wasn't fun. Okay. So, we now have 20 more designs left to do. Hooray! But I am going to, at this point, break my self-imposed rule because we've done quite a bit. I am going to go to Google and I'm going to go and search up a random profession generator. Random job occupation generator. And let me just bam. Yeah, you just, you can search up anything on Google these days. So we will generate a random job. Toilet attendant. Baker, we got that. Picture framer. Special constable. Yeah, I could do that. I could do that. Yeah, I got an idea for that. So we'll merge all of those down. And then we will make this special constable. So he's going to have, like a fancy little ribbon and like one of those pageantries that go around like so. And they're going to be wearing a dress, a toga even. They're wearing a toga. And there we go. Special constable. Alright. Oh, glorious random generator. What's next? Popstar, we got that. Casual, no. We've got that. Researcher, we've got that. Cashier, we've got that. Laboratory, we got that. Costume designer. Coroner? How do I do a coroner? I guess just someone in a suit and tie. Okay. So we'll give them a tie, and we won't give them the fancy trails, just some pants and a belt and some tight sleeves. Corum? No, I guess. Kinda. Next up. Park keeper. Kinda already got that. Chiropractor. I can't really make a appearance out of that. Assembly line worker. Events organizer. Laborer. I suppose I could try and make something for that. So they would have, a tie as well, but instead of like a suit, they have just a t-shirt with their logo on it, and they're always carrying a clipboard with like information on it and some 3/4 pants. And we'll give them a belt as well. There we go. Next up. Criminal. How about a prisoner? I can do that. So we'll have a little chain. And a ball. And then we want to go this. 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 Then we have that. Then we cover that in. Alright, I got the ball, and we just need to give them the striped clothing. Like so. Oh, someone else said, oh, thank you. We'll just don't. Hey! Thanks so much. Why? It didn't notify me. There we go. Little message. And I'll leave it on that. And, yeah, we'll go to the, I think they're about a 3/4 sleeve, if I remember. Then we will add the last little bit. And, you know, 1 stripe, 2 stripe, and then leg stripe. And there we go. Prisoner. Okay. Next one. Sports person, counselor. Yeah. Alright. So we're going to actually turn that off now. And we're going to do it manually because the generator's run out of ideas. Okay. Professions. What would be a profession that we haven't done? You know what? I've run out of profession ideas, so we're just going to design random clothes. I'm gonna give this one like a belt here, like a little, you know, one of those. Oh, hello, kitty. Hello. Yeah. And then we'll have like a little stripe bit there. And there. Yeah, on outfit. For this one, I'm gonna give them like gloves, like big gloves. And then we will very, very, very loose shirt. And that's all they wear. Let's think. This one will wear a loincloth and have rings on their tail. And because this design is a little different, this guy is just gonna have the loincloth. And now the next one. Scarf. And we're gonna give this guy just a little bit of a and he's got a little, you know, flowy little. And this one we will give an actual scarf. Bam. And we've got the child, and we're gonna give the child little bracelets. Little bracelets, like so. And that's one more line done. Woo! Just 10 more to go, and we've got all of our cobalt. Alright. Gonna copy, paste, move them onto the fluffy designs. And then for this one, we're just going to erase. And, man, I'm actually quite excited. Alright, drink break. Gotta remember to stay hydrated. Alright. Last little bit of the designs now. So, we're on to these guys. And I'm honestly rather mentally fatigued at this point from doing so many unique designs. I'm going to just really do some super basic ones here. So that guy just has leg straps. This guy is going to have something that he's carrying on his back. And this one is going to be, you know, just wearing a cap. Little baseball cap. And this one, we're gonna make this one super edgy. They get the, like, little cape that's, you know, one-sided cape. Hello, kitty cat. So that one's like really edgy, and this one, well, we don't have a naked one yet, so you know what? That can be naked. And this one, this one is going to have little, oh, am I okay? Okay. It's gonna have 2 kids on the back, just holding on for dear life. They're gonna have like little dual belts that are holding the kids. That ain't, no, the chest is a little further. There we go. And then a belt with some bottles. You can't really see it very well because of the sketchy nature, but there we go. What next? You know what? I've got I've got a Vault-Tec lunchbox, and one of the characters on there is just wearing underwear, so I mean swimming trunks, so you know what? Sure. That guy's just wearing trunks. And this one will be wearing a very fluffy little thingy. He's gonna be a floof. Floof up. You gotta floof it up. Floof in it. And also fluffy pants. He's just... Actually, no, the fluffy pants looks awful. We're gonna make it just some regular pants then. And slippers. And finally, last adult. This one is going to have earrings and like little ear ornaments. And you know what? They're gonna have a piercing and like a little bit of scar, like they've seen things, like a little scratching and maybe a bite mark there. And then we've got the little kid, and I'm going to make them carrying a backpack. So they've, got, that's the rabbit in the background, got their little backpack. And there. There we go. And thus, we now have 100 background kobold designs. Hooray! So now, like that was just step one. Whoop. We now have the designs. Now we need to actually refine them. So we're going to merge all of them down and undo this, and yep. So we're going to merge those layers together. Copy the layer, undo, make those layers invisible, and now we've got ourselves our new reference layer. Rabbit is going ham back there on the little clip of cardboard. But yeah, okay. So now we have our designs. So, well, I'm just gonna quickly go over them and, refine them. Normally I would just color over my sketches, but because these were so rough, I'm just gonna, yeah. So we'll do that. And I'm just gonna redo them. Yeah, normally I just go over them and casually, like, use the sketch layer, but because of the sheer amount and, oop, that ain't right. Alright, yeah, we'll just, lock that as it is then. I was gonna make them all of one color for you guys, but, yeah. Whoop. Alright. So, we're, going to make every single one of these, and, yeah. Now we can go. Oh, you get the little bit of a spike here, yeah. We're going to do that. Get the horn. And that kobolds aren't. I'm too used to doing wolves and things. So this guy, he is a guard. He is a defender of the town, and he has a little bit of a wing emblem on him, to show that he's a guard. And actually, we'll make it a shield. Yeah, a shield is better because if it's a shield, you instantly know that they're a defender. So, gonna have like little pockets. Yep. Then we've got the belt. And we'll have another little bit there. And there's our triangle bits because it's armor. You always gotta have the triangle bit for the armor. But yeah, since we're now on the easier bits where it's just mostly, going over things, we can get back to the discussion. So, the main thing with writing and preparing to make a webtoons, like as I mentioned before, is it's not about writing what you know. It's about writing what you want to see. And there's that common misconception. But I won't go too deeply back into that. I'm just bringing you all back to where I was when I paused that to focus on the designs. So, what happens, let's say, once you have found the idea? Let's say you've got the idea and you're really certain this is the one, and you're super hyped and ready to, start either drawing it or hiring someone to make it for you. Like, you might have a design and it's a pretty good design, but you might not know exactly what sort of style or substance you want, or you might not have everything laid out. Like, there's going to be things that you're not particularly prepared for. Like, you might be an amazing artist, but not the best at making scripts. Or you might be really good at scripts, but not the best at drawing. In my case, for example, I wanted to make a high fantasy, and one of the things with high fantasy is they have very, very detailed backgrounds. They gotta really sell the sweeping part of Vista, if you know what I mean. Like, it's all well and good to have a fantasy setting, but if you really want to wow them, you need that spectacle, especially with high fantasy, because the landscape is such an important part of the high fantasy, because you define the landscape. It's all very, very important. And the main thing you need to figure out is, what can't you do? If you can do everything, congratulations. You have nothing stopping you from making a webtoon except time. And there's no way to change that. So, if you don't have the time, then, well, you just gotta accept it, because making a webtoon is a luxury, like I said earlier. But if you have the time and you have the ability to do everything, then just start. But if you can't do something, like say you're not very good at art, or you're not a very good script writer, there is a solution. You know how they say time is money? Well, all you need to do is throw money at the problem. I'm serious. It's really that simple. If you want something done and you can't do it yourself, you need to either pay for it or accept you can't do it. In my case, for example, I really wanted to sell the Sweeping Vistas, and I am only okay at backgrounds. Like, I can make a decent background, but I can't really sell the Sweeping Vista. So I looked around and I attempted to hire someone for it, and that's how I found our current artists. Specifically, we've got a character design artist who does most of the character sheets so we can keep all the characters on model. And then I've got a second artist who is our lead artist, and they do all the art for the comic, and really they do an amazing job, and I am really grateful for how much they do, and I learned so much just by being in their presence. And I am also an artist. Like, I can do art. It's just, there's a difference between my art and something like, for example, this. I look at the detail. Like, yes, some of it is done with brushes, but I couldn't visualize this landscape. I can make landscapes and I can give the basics, but I just don't have the experience with background art that my high fantasy comic needed. So I hired someone for it. But that does mean that I now have to pay them, because I'm not going to not pay them. If you're hiring an artist, you pay them. And if you can't pay them, then you can't hire an artist. It's that simple. And I'm not going to pretend that it isn't a lot of money. I put a lot of money into this webcomic. And you know what? I'm okay with that, because I made the webcomic for myself before everyone else. Do I want it to succeed? Of course. Who doesn't want their comic to succeed? But because I made it for myself, I get to enjoy it. And even if it fails, I still get to enjoy it. So, just make it. Just make the comic, and you will learn so much from the act. And it's okay to accept, and it's okay if it doesn't work out. Like, don't be married to the one idea, because it doesn't exist. There is no one idea. There is no ultimate idea. There are ideas you're passionate about, and there are ideas that you think will really sell well. But there is no one idea that guarantees you popularity. You aren't going to make the Mona Lisa on your first try, and you're only going to learn what you need by trying. So, yeah, if you want to make a webcomic, and if you want to start learning how to make a script, and you want it to be compelling, or you want it to be, really romantic, write what you think is romantic. Don't overthink it. Write what you want to see, and you will find an audience there. So yeah, don't really stress about it. Just have fun, experience it, learn, and don't be afraid of failure. There are times when failure just brings more opportunity. It's okay if your script is not the best. It's okay if your script or your comic is not the best. It's okay if you're an awful artist, because you're going to learn from it, and your next one will be even better, and the one after that will be even better still. And then it just goes on and on and on. The idea might be a good one, the idea might be a bad one, but if you have the time, if you have the money, or if you have time or money, just do it. Because you don't want to be looking back 10 years from now like I was and regretting that you didn't start drawing when you were younger and it's easier to learn. Because I convinced myself that I could not draw. Like, I really couldn't. I was convinced because, let me show you. Let me try drawing a straight line. See how shaky it is? I was convinced that I could not draw because of that. I was just certain of it. I considered it fact. But it's not true. Anyone can draw. Anyone can learn to write. Anyone can create. The only difference between you and an expert is they spent the time, they learned the craft, and they put in the effort. They had the time and the money to put it in. And you might not, and that is okay, because you can support in other ways. You can support your favorite creators. You can give them money. If you really like an idea and you want to see it continue, then support the creators. Because even if you yourself don't have the time or the money, you can still leave a comment. And trust me, you will be surprised at how much a single comment will make a beginner creator's day. I have seen it time and time again. I actively go to new creators and I will leave a comment saying, "Hey, great work," or "Hey, don't give up." And that will make their day. And you can make their day too. So even if you're convinced that you can't help or you can't draw, there are people out there who need you. There are creators out there who need you. And you do not exist in a vacuum. Even if you think your idea is awful, even if you think your idea sucks, even if you think you're a failure, there will be someone out there who disagrees. So just give it a shot. The only thing you have to lose is the confirmation bias. You'll either succeed or you won't. But if you don't try, you are just failing. You could succeed or you could not. Or you could not succeed because you're afraid of it. So yeah, that's the best advice I can really give. Don't try to be someone you're not. Don't try to replicate others' styles. Learn their styles and you're fine to ask them about how they do things. But you gotta understand that their way of doing things might not be the way that works for you. You can be inspired by them and you can learn from them, but you're not always going to be able to replicate. But you can always innovate. But that's about all I've got to really talk about on the subject. I mean, we can change to how I write scripts and that, but again, just bear in mind that what I'm saying is, advice. There are no rules with writing. There are no rules in writing. And yes, I know there are rules in writing, but there are no rules in writing. Trust me. Any rule can be broken. And then that's even in writing. I mean, of course you're going to want to, try not to make misspellings, but there are times when, you do make misspellings. Take, for example, a drunk character. You slur their words. See? Example. There are times when you break the rules. The difference is knowing when to break it. Just going a little more detail there. There we go. So how do you know when to break the rule? How do you know? Experience. So you're just going to have to break the rules and learn what works and what doesn't. You just kind of have to wing it. And don't listen to other people saying, you can't do it that way. You're fine to listen to them, words. You're fine to listen to advice and look up guides like I did. But you should never be using it as scripture. If that makes sense. It's fine to look it up and it's fine to learn from your favorite creators. But it should never become your only resource. For example, recently, I used to always go over my work. Like I'd do the sketch layer and then I'd use this pen and I'd very carefully make all the lines completely straight and then if there was gaps, I'd erase it. And I'm trying to let go of that. I'm trying to let go of the perfect line because it takes so long and it takes so much time when I could just easily just do it quickly like this and do a lot of things. Like normally I would use this layer that's underneath the sketch layer. I'm doing it a little cleaner because I did these very quickly. But I'm trying to get out of that habit because I'm trying to both be more efficient and speed it up, and I'm also trying to break the perfectionist in me. Because we all have a perfectionist, and it can be hard to break out of the old habit. You don't need perfect lines. As you get better at art, and as you get better at writing, and as you get better at anything, you will begin to notice flaws. I'm not going to go and grab someone else's art right now for flaws, but the better you're... Hold on, actually. You know what? I got a perfect thing for this. One moment. Let me just grab it up. It's under help. And there it is. As you get better at something, your skill at evaluating it also increases. And yeah, there will be art highs and art lows, and that goes for writing as well. The better you get at it, the more you see what you're doing, and there really is no shortcut. And sometimes people will improve faster than you, and oh, I'm not gonna lie, it burns. I'm 30, and oh man, it makes me so envious sometimes how many people are just like, oh, I'm gonna do art. Bam, I'm suddenly even better than you. And it does hurt. But you gotta look at it like this. You have to change your perspective. Instead of, oh man, I'm so jealous, you're like, oh man, I can't wait to draw like that one day. You see what I mean? It's all about changing your mentality. Changing it from, I can't do this to, I will be doing this one day. You change the I wish to I will. And yeah. So, I'm gonna just casually ramble some more, but if you have any questions, feel free to, pop them in the booth chat. I'm staring at it. Or, chat. Anything. But, one of the things that I wanted to do with my story, as an example, was I wanted to make a story about dragons. That was really it. That was the entire thing. So I first started making a story about dragons. And the story was about futuristic dragons in a world that was marred by war. And they just recently had peace with the humans. And there was this whole little bit of awkwardness because the dragons and the humans and all the creatures were still trying to work out how to live together, considering the humans were the aliens in this world. They came to the planet. So, I started writing it. I wrote the idea, I made a few chapters. I even hired an editor, and had multiple editors to go over it so I could try and make it as good as I can. But I ran into an issue. And the issue was, I had no idea how to end it. And that's a pretty big issue when you're trying to make a long-running series. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna do this. And then I wrote all the bits that I wanted to write, and I was like, okay, but how do I end this? So that's where that story ended. My next story was an attempt to create a world where witches get power from truth. For example, a witch that promises to never tell a lie will get a lot of power, but a witch that promises that they'll take out the trash would not get as much power. And yeah, so the basic idea was, you know, the powers of, being honest and being good gave power, and that one made it even less. Like, I got a few chapters in and I was having fun and all that, and I did enjoy the experience. But the issue came up again where I had no idea how to end it. I had plans and I had ideas, like I wanted to have like dark, like evil witches that got their power from lies and deceit. And it just, how to best put this? The issue with the story was I had no central conflict. The conflict was, hi, you want to learn magic? And the other person was like, yeah. And that was the conflict. Will they learn magic despite being the dark witches? And, well, that's when I found a new idea to try. And that idea was a story of revenge based on a dream I had. And the idea stuck with me. Like, I dreamed it over several days, and as the idea continued to stick in my head, I decided to write it down. And I wrote down what happened, and I kept writing and writing, and then I realized I had written the ending. I knew how it ended. And that was when I was like, that's what I'm doing wrong. I'm trying to write straight ahead, putting the railway tracks as I go, when I could be instead writing ahead of it. And it's such a simple thing that no one ever tells you. There's two main ways to write, and there's many ways to draw, but no one ever tells you how to find your way. And that was the biggest issue I was having. I was trying to write a story without writing the ending, because I thought I was a straight ahead person, where I would just figure out the ending as I go. But I found out that I wasn't, and that it was a lot easier for me to keep focused on a story when I writ it out, at least in dot points. Like, okay, so this what happens, and then this bit happens, and it ends with, them getting revenge and, taking over the world. And it's really something so simple as that. That was what I was struggling with. And I don't know if my story will be a Mona Lisa. I really doubt it. It's okay. I think it's really cool and I really enjoy it. And I love making it. But I'm not going to, pretend it's like the Mona Lisa. I can't really say that. Who can really say that in the middle of their passion project, Instead, I will simply say that I think I found my passion. And even if you never find your passion, even if you never find the idea that you want to stick with, it's still a good idea to at least try writing down your idea. Because you never know. Maybe you will find that you're actually really talented at something you never thought you were. You never know. all you can really do is keep living and keep trying. And one day you will find you have made 10 out of 100 kobolds. Man. I brought this on myself, I know. I fully know that I do not have to make 100 unique kobolds for the background. But I want it so bad. I want it so bad. It's such a superfluous detail, and no one else is probably going to care. But I care. I want the 100 kobolds. I want to say I have 100 unique kobolds for the background. And, yeah. So, I'm probably going to be taking a small break in about 40, so about 20 minutes. And I'm essentially going to, go to the toilets, get a drink, that sort of thing. But yeah. Now we're just making the next variant, which is the fluffy kobolds. So they mostly follow the same design, but they, instead of being scaly, they're fluffy. And therefore wintry climates. And I could just copy and paste the design down and change a few details, but you know what? I should probably do that because it's more efficient. And I was just saying how I'm trying to be more efficient, and I do have to do a lot of these, so maybe cutting it down would be a good idea. So we'll just copy that, paste it, and then move it down, and then we'll edit the design. Alright. So that should be moved up a little bit more. There we go. I think the biggest issue with, well, webcomics in general is summed up with this picture that I keep on my desktop because it's just too relevant. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much that. A webcomic requires so many things, and they just don't tell you. You're like, yeah, I'm gonna make a webcomic, and they're like, okay, you need this, 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 this. No, that's not fluffy enough. It must be fluffier. Let's see, a little bit of fluff, and then, yeah, that's better. That's fluffy. Okay. And we, of course, need to change a couple of details, but this is how I'm cutting down the amount of designs I need to do from, clothing, because there's a lot of clothing, but I can use the clothing on two different kobold designs, the fluffies and the straighties, the scalies, And no, that looks awful. That looks bad. That is so bad. We will grab this, and then we'll go do-do-do, then this again, and we'll go like that, and we'll grab like that, and there we go. That's a little better. Alright. So yeah, we will just slowly make our way through these 100 or so. Oh boy. But yes, we're going to double up the designs because then we can, you know, minimize the amount of extra work we need to do. So we're going to once again do the tail. And that is the wrong pen. You know what? Screw it. That's fine. Adding the floof. And little droopy ears. The droopers. The droopities. Then we go to the next one. Erase the head. And now we make it fluffy. But yeah, since they're background characters, it's fine for them to have, you know, the same outfits. So we don't need to really... Well, like I said, this is completely overkill. This is entirely unneeded. I could easily just make a base and give them all, like, rainbow colors, and that would really do it. But the fact of the matter is, this is the sort of details that I love high fantasy for. The lore building. The lore. And it's one of those things that is why it's not just the good characters and the really compelling plot. It's the good characters, the compelling plot, and the fact the world is so detailed and realistic. And we're just going to add like a little ribbon there. And then we'll draw the rest of the tail. Not the best tail, but it'll do. Then we'll add the second bit of ribbon. And we also want to add the ribbon here. And one more on the leg. Because this is the dancer. They like to dance. And that's as far as I have their personality-wise. But, I mean, if they ever become a actual character, then I would naturally, you know, give them backstory and things. But, I mean, there's 100 of them. And, you know, you just got the kobold here with the anchor arms. And, I think what I will do is I will finish off this line of fluffies. And then I will go take a quick break. And, you know, get a drink, go to the toilet, that sort of thing. Yeah, just a couple more to go. And this one has the arms, so I'll, you know, give it a little fluff on the arms. Fluff, 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 fluff. Fluffy. This. All the fluff. Max fluff. Mega fluff. Then we add the... I'm using the wrong pen again. Whoops. Laws of habit. Yeah. Little eyes. The snoot. And then the neck. Alright. Next one. And we will grab this. We'll have ear like there. Then I'll have hair is a little, you know, messed up because of the, you know, the hat. Okay. And, yes, it's this one next. I got a bit lost in the sauce there. Alright. And just 2 more to go. We got the scientisty one. So we're just going to erase that and erase that. And redraw the glasses. And then have, a little white bit of fluff. And because this one has the droopy ears, we'll have like it's going around the ears. And there we go. And then finally, we've got the little kid, the kitty do. Just erase that completely, yeah. Boom. Fluff. All the fluff. We'll make it the fluffiest one. It will be fun. Fluff, fluff, all the fluff. Fluffy. Fluff, 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 fluff. And then we'll have a little bit of side fluff. You know, the adjacent fluff. We'll have the pants, which unfortunately the pants aren't fluffy, but you know what is? It's not the legs. The legs are not fluffy, because I don't want to do fluffy legs. They're a pain. And we'll just do that. And fluffy! Yes. All the fluff. And we'll have like a little gremlin of a tail. Yeah. There you go. Alright. And that's 20 done. Only... You know what? I'm just not gonna focus on the number. I'll get burned out if I do. But yes, we got the designs, and next up, I'm going to be taking a break. But I will do that just for now, and I will put up a little thing and say BRB. Okay. Well, thanks for those who have been here. I will be back in 5 minutes. I'm just gonna get up and stand, walk around a bit because it's been quite a bit, and, grab a drink and all that. Alright, I shall be back momentarily. Alright, I'm back. I have gotten a drink, and yeah, I think before I resume drawing, let's take a small aside so I can tell you about the only resource you need for learning to write and all that. Alright, here we go. I've got it up, and I'll just pull this up and make it bigger. This is a YouTube channel called Write About Dragons. And it is, no joke, a complete university degree lecture course on writing. For free, up on YouTube. And you can just watch that for free. And yeah, if you ever want to learn to write, just watch those because they're really pretty good. I like to review them quite a bit. Because, yeah, I'm slowly. It's just. They are really good. Alright. Well, I can't avoid my work any longer. Right. So, the question is, how am I going to do the other designs? Because, yeah. So I think what I'll do, based on what I did previously, is I'll draw the bodies, and then I'll copy them right, and then I'll draw the clothing, and then copy it down. I think that'll be the most efficient and easiest. Wait, oops, that is, there we go. So yeah, what I will do is I will draw the body, and then I'll come back and do the clothes. That seems like, yeah. But yes, that university course is just there, online, and it's brilliant. It really is. It's so good as a resource because they go over things like romance and comedy and horror, and it's just, man, isn't the internet great where you can just have resources like that? So we're just going to draw the bits of the body that are visible, because then I don't have to, yeah. So we will do all the bodies, and then we'll copy it to the right, and then we'll do all the clothes and copy it down. It's just that way I can ensure that I'm not repeating my strokes as much, because that's really important when you do commissions and all that. You need to really be efficient. And especially with comics, you also need to be even more efficient, if you can believe it. Alright, alright, alright. And 2, 3, 4. And that's one done. Next one. Ah, yes, this is the one I accidentally screwed up. Right. A little blurry, so we'll just do this. And then this, and I'm just doing these very fast now because it's been a few hours and I'm just in automatic mode at this point. Alright, and we've got the fluffy dragon, so we want to redo the, and these ones have, yeah, we want to do it like that. There we go. I want to have like little bits of floof there, yeah. And again, doesn't need to be too fancy. It's not like anyone but the artists I pay will see it, so you know, I pay them to like me. And slowly but surely making our way down. Yeah. And then I have to go over and slowly fix up what, man. One sketch at a time, one sketch at a time. No, the fluffy one. Fluffy. And sure. This one has the tiny snoot. And this guy is sort of like a Labrador. Labra. Labra thingy. Fluff. Yeah, there we go. And we have the hands that are, you know, I'm just getting a little fatigued, so I'll probably wrap up very soon. Yep. And that's the last one. Okay. Now that that's done, hmm. Okay, so what I think I will do, because I'm going to have to erase it anyway, is I'm going to fill these in. So very quickly. And then we will move this over one. Make sure it's in the right spot. And copy and paste it up. Okay. Now we just need to this. Whew, I am starting to feel the fatigue. I'm a bit lazy. I'm sorry, my throat is just kind of starting to hurt. Alright. Yeah, I'm pretty tapped out. It's been, oh, let's see, 7, so 8. Yeah, it's been about 3 hours. So I'm probably gonna wrap up here. I still have a lot to do, but we made some pretty good progress, and as thanks for sticking around, I'm gonna give you a sneak peek of the next little main page. Because I can. And there you go. There's the next main page. And that's all you're getting. Okay. uh, thanks for tuning in, and yeah, have a wonderful day.